Well, let's talk about build out expenses. That's something that sometimes is a concept too that tenants miss, or tenants maybe don't understand necessarily the economics of how it passes to from the tenant to the landlord. In a lot of spaces, especially new spaces, or what I would say are tired spaces,
Mm.
a lot of times landlord will offer some sort of a tenant improvement allowance
Hmm.
to help that tenant build the space out for them, um, and get it to suit their needs, with the hopes that they become a long-term tenant,
Yep.
obviously.
Yep.
So why don't you talk a little bit about, what are you seeing in the market as far as tenant improvement allowances, where you see it, where you don't, how does that help when you're trying to market a space
Hmm.
as well?
Yeah. The majority of the you just like you said, Alex, the majority of the places where you see a tenant improvement allowance are either in older spaces that, really need to be brought up to date, or in brand new spaces that haven't been completed yet.
Mhm.
And I would say that the majority of the tenant improvement allowance amounts that I see in the market are in that $20 to $30 a square foot. Well, with increasing construction costs, you're not going to get a lot of work done for $20 to $30 a square foot. So, as a tenant, you need to understand that if you're going to step up and pay to improve the landlord's property, then in my opinion, that should be reflected in the rent. So
Mhm.
let's say you've got a class C space that you're going to go in and help the landlord improve to a class B plus or A minus,
Mhm.
right? Okay, well then, if you're putting a substantial amount of money into that space to improve it, in my opinion, when I'm representing the tenant, then you shouldn't be paying the full rent rate that you would be paying on a A minus space
Yep.
if you were walking into something that was already in that quality range.